Hello. It is 24 weeks, viability week, which is super exciting. I am wearing my work shirt today because we had a spirit day of wearing Be the Match gear. So I think I answered it in the Q&A, but if anybody's interested in learning more about my job, I actually work for Be the Match. It's the National Bone Marrow Registry. So I can put a little link below if anybody's curious to learn more. But that's why I'm wearing a weird, not weird, but a tie-dye t-shirt. So totally forgot last week to update. It was a pretty big week, so have a lot to share. We had our fetal echocardiogram on Wednesday, which was 23 weeks, and I knew it was going to be long. I knew we would have at least an hour for every baby. If you go through IVF or if you have identicals in a multiple pregnancy, they recommend a fetal echocardiogram just because there are more chances of having a risk, a heart defect or a hole or anything like that. So kind of knew what we were going into. I follow a really sweet family, Alex Congelier. Her little girl was born with a hole in her heart, with actually a more major a genetic heart defect that her dad also had. So I followed their story and really helped me to know what to expect all the way down to the virtual visit with the doctor. I thought it was interesting that we had a Zoom visit while we were in the office afterwards. Anyway, I'll kind of go through how that day went. We had to reschedule. Originally, it was set a couple weeks prior, but when Garrett, my son, got COVID, we had to push back just to keep everybody safe. So we had it this past Wednesday. Started our appointments at 10 o'clock, and we were told we'd probably be out of there by 3:30. An hour for each baby, and then that virtual appointment with our doctor. So we got there nice and early because I'm crazy, and we were downtown, so I wanted to make sure we got parked in, settled and everything. And we had a coordinator the whole time, which is the coolest thing. So her name was Wanda. So if you're in the IVF community, it's kind of funny because that's the nickname we give the internal ultrasound wand, call her Wanda. So anyway, Wanda was my coordinator that called to get us all scheduled, texted a ton, and just really was an amazing resource. I can only imagine if we did have a problem, how comforting it would be to have her kind of guide and walk you through it. She just was wonderful. And ironically, it's funny that I'm wearing the shirt, her daughter actually got called to donate through my organization. So we had that kind of extra connection, which was neat. But anyway, so we got there, we texted her from the parking garage, and she was like, "We're not quite ready for you." So we killed some time. My husband came with me because it was a long day. We just both took the day off and kind of saw it as a date day. Um, so we just kind of hung out in the car. We knew to bring snacks because we were going to be there for a long time. So he packed a little cooler with some snacks in it for us. And it's just hard, sitting in the parking deck of a children's hospital, seeing these moms bringing their babies in strollers, and just knowing from my job, how hard it is for a pediatric patient going through any kind of illness. So it was a little bit down just being in that environment, just knowing that there were some sick kiddos there. But that's where we needed to be. That's where the fetal echo cardiogram was happening and where the specialists are. So we were in the right spot. It just was a little hard to be there with all those kids going through things. But anyway, we got called up. We were the only ones without babies and arms. So I was, waddling through pregnant. Got all checked in, and then, we were waiting a little bit longer. So I don't think we even got back until about 10:30, and our appointments were supposed to be at 10. And we had two different techs in the room. One was typically a pediatric, I guess, fetal ultrasound no, not fetal, just pediatric ultrasound technologist, and so or technician. So she wanted to learn because obviously with triplets, I think every time that happens, and we're at a learning hospital, for anybody that's local, we're at VCU. Um, but I'm open to that. Like I think why not? I was going to be there all day. If it took a little longer for a student or somebody just learning to get their hands on my belly, why not? I had done it before the week prior at the ultrasound center. So anyway, the main tech started with baby A, who's the lowest. And I could just tell she was having a hard time. Baby A was just turned, kind of his spine was in the way a lot of the times. She was having a hard time getting clear pictures, but we were patient and just kind of laid there. And, I'm on like an ultrasound table, and Grant's got a chair behind me, and then there's a nice screen to be able to see what she sees. So that was obviously really cool. We get to see the babies for a very extended amount of time. And you could tell she was just struggling to find some things. I knew it wasn't scary, not, like she wasn't having an issue, there wasn't a problem that she was trying to address. She just couldn't find certain things because I've been going to ultrasounds every other week. I now kind of know what to look for. I was in no way an ultrasound technician, but can kind of get it. And I mentioned, baby A's aorta was hard to find during the, anatomy scan. Is that by chance what you're looking for? And she's like pretty surprised that I knew what was going on. She's like, yep, that's exactly what we're looking for. So she spent like another 20, maybe even 30 minutes just looking for the aorta. Um, we saw pieces of it. She just needed a picture of the whole thing. So, it was very comforting to know that it was not a problem that she was struggling through. It just was anatomy of the baby, like trying to be able to see it. Baby A is also really low in my pelvis, and she kept saying like, if only I could move your hip bone, like I could get to the right, direction and see it. So, reaffirmed how low baby A is because I feel the kicks super, super low. Um, so we finished up baby A. She just decided, let's skip it for now. And then the learning technician hopped in, was like, can I just see, let me take a look, figure out where the babies are, just kind of in that downtime. Because I got to get up and go to the bathroom in between and eat a quick snack, have some water. And so the technician, just wanted to see where babies were, and she was very confused. And there were lots of heads and feet everywhere, but she finally saw baby C, and she was like, this is cool. Okay, when we get to baby C, I'll do some of the pictures. Um, so the main technician came back and got B done pretty quickly. B was pretty easy and cooperative. That's the other boy. A and B share a placenta. Took another break after that. I mean, at this point, I think we were 2.5 hours in. And then baby C. So the technician learning about fetal started, and I could just tell she was not going to have a lot of success. Baby C is the girl, and she was just in a ball. Like she was just in a fetal position, not letting anybody see anything. I think they were on average getting 70 pictures of each baby, and I think there were 20 of this one. So she just was not cooperating. And so, I'm constantly moving around, trying to get comfortable, trying to let them be able to get better angles of babies and things like that. It just wasn't happening. So it was probably a good hour we spent on baby C, and just couldn't get the pictures that we needed. So got to take another break. At this point, I think it was a little after 12, and I'm just starving. So I chugged a protein shake, which I'm sitting here drinking too. These amazing Premier Protein apple oat shakes. So I chugged one of those. Babies went a little crazy, which is probably not the best thing to do when you're about to do more ultrasound filming, but I needed the nutrition. So finally, they brought in another gal that was there that was really experienced. They had a list of pictures that still needed to be taken of C, and then they obviously wanted to go back to A. So she came in and literally in 5 minutes got like the next 40 pictures or whatever needed to be done of baby C, and she was incredible. She knew exactly what to do. She had me roll over to my side and straighten my leg and just kind of get to the right places, and was able to get baby A's aorta finally. It still took her another 20 minutes to get that picture done, but I was very thankful for that technician, because she really just knocked it out of the park. And honestly, she popped her head in at the very beginning and asked if the original tech wanted her to do it, and I wish she had said yes, because we would probably been in and out so much more quickly. But again, we got to have somebody learn a little bit more. Um, and get to see triplets, which is pretty rare. So all in all, it was not horrible. I was just exhausted. Who would think that laying on a table for almost 4 hours would be that tiring? But it was, and you're just kind of laying on your back, which when you have a big tummy, like it puts a lot of pressure on your back. And I had a wedge under my knees, but it wasn't comfortable. And so I was really relieved to be able to get up, take my fourth bathroom break, scarf down an apple butter and jelly sandwich that Grant had packed. And then I totally even didn't think about it, but I was like, oh, we have the doctor's appointment. Like, there's a reason we're here. So we were whisked into the conference room. the big TV set up, and all of a sudden it's the cardiologist, and I was kind of just caught off guard. I don't know why. I just thought it would be a little bit more of a process of, sitting down, calling her, but she was right there on the screen. And, just she said everything looks normal. Like very first thing she said, and I was like, thank God. Like just this huge relief because I hadn't even gotten to the point of, oh man, something might be wrong. It was just all of this, activity around getting the pictures done. But she said they were all perfect. Now, of course, there are some things that can pop up, with any pregnancy, that you can't detect in utero. But she was like, we probably won't see you back here. And I was like, that is a great thing. Was, you're probably a great doctor, but we don't want to see you again. If there is any risk of twin to twin transfusion, we probably would go back. But right now, we've been measuring really well. And I've got an appointment later today. Then we'll check that again. But pretty much clear from that big appointment. So that was a huge relief. Got back in the car, came home, laid on the couch for an hour, and then went upstairs and slept for another hour. It was just a long day. All in all, I think we got there at 10. Actually, we got there like 9:45 because it was an early person. And then I think we left the parking garage at 3:30. So it was a very long day. Poor Grant was just sitting, in an uncomfortable chair the whole time. It was like a warm room. The lights were out. He just wanted to sleep. So we're just really glad that that day was over, but wanted to kind of share that detail in case anyone is preparing for their own fetal echocardiogram. I've talked to a lot of other moms that are pregnant moms, and in one of my Instagram little chat groups that I love so much, they all had very similar experiences where it took a while, and they are just having one baby. So it's good to know that this wasn't, just us, that we've had obstacles. But yeah, so after that, the rest of the week, last week was good. I'm still having a lot of that hip and back pain and the pelvis pain. So do have to rest a lot. Sitting here all day long in this chair is a little tricky. I did change my setup a little bit. I don't know if you can see it here, but I got a gel back pillow, and then there's one on the seat too. And this actually really helps just to kind of get things lined up a little bit more. And then, of course, my heating pad, because I just feel like I live with a heating pad now. But it really helps just to kind of keep my lower back warm and keep, kind of sitting at the right angle. And then actually under my desk, I have a huge yoga ball. And so I prop my feet up on it while I'm working. So if I'm on a call, I'll kind of like, put my feet up, scoot back a little bit, turn my camera off when I can, and just kind of try to relax a little. Because that seated position just starts to hurt. I'm having a lot of pain kind of right above my belly. It's hard to explain. It's almost like a burning feeling. And then it wraps around to my back. And with my first pregnancy, I had a whole lot of pain in my ribs around, like 30 weeks, I think is when it started, because the kid was jammed up under my ribs. And so I'm used to that kind of, just having some pain all the time, but this is just different. And so I'm going to talk to my doctor today about it and just ask. My guess is it's maybe just gas pain, too much information, but with all these babies, it's just compressing everything, and I'm just wondering if it's just affecting digestion somehow. So I just find myself constantly kind of rubbing and pushing on that area just to try to soothe that discomfort. Other than that, being out of breath talking, I mean, that's been going on for weeks and weeks. But hitting 24 weeks has just been really cool. I knew in my head that this was a big milestone. It's the week of viability. So if we had these babies anytime after today, there'd be a much higher chance of them surviving. Sorry, I have a group text of other pregnant people. My two friends are also pregnant, so we're all chatting right now. But yeah, so just to know that if these babies were born, that there'd be things that they could do to keep them alive is just incredible. But of course, we want to keep them cooking. 12 more weeks is my goal. If we can deliver at 36 weeks, it decreases our NICU chances, or at least our time in the NICU. They'll be bigger, they'll be better off, their lungs will be more developed and things like that. So I can't imagine getting bigger. I feel like over the last week, this belly has really widened. I don't know, it's really hard to tell in this shirt. But I just feel like there's just so much more belly. My clothes aren't fitting. Like, I'm having to go up a size. I've been a medium in pretty much everything this whole time. Now I'm in larges, or extra large t-shirts, which is really comfortable. It's just not super work appropriate, unless it's, your work logo, which is good. Um, but yeah, it's been good, and I've gotten a few hand-me-down things. We have a Facebook group called Buy Nothing, where you can join based on where you live, your actual neighborhood, and people post, like, hey, I'm giving away, this baby swing. Anybody need it? And you can't pay for it, hence Buy Nothing. But I had a friend, or now a new friend, post that she had a bag of twin boys' clothes. I think they were 0 to 6 months or 6 to 12 months, something like that. And I thought, hey, why not? That'd be really fun to have some, matching twin boy stuff. So I said, hey, I'd be interested. I'm having triplets, but two are twin boys, and then there's a girl. So went by and picked that up. Picked up a bath seat that I've been eyeing on Amazon. It's about $49, and this wonderful woman from our multiples group offered that up to me. And then I've made friends with another girl that actually sold me her twin bassinet, and she's holding on to some things for me. So it's just been really cool. We certainly have the ability to buy everything brand new, but I think having the, things that have been loved before, being able to give it a little extra life, is really neat. And plus, it's baby stuff. Like, you maybe use it for 6 months, and then we'll pass it along, and hopefully can find, a multiple family in the area that would be excited to have some of these things. So it's just been fun starting to kind of build that. Um, looking at, continuing to look at our registry, the things that we need. It's kind of nice. We only need two of most things since we have one from Garrett. But that's been fun just to kind of, put some things on there. I think I mentioned this, but my mom actually got us our Wonderfold wagon. So if you don't know what that is, Google it if you are expecting multiples. It's basically a pack and play and a stroller merged together. So it's got a huge wagon space, but it has seats in it, and it has 5-point harnesses so we can hook everybody in once they can sit up. And then it has a normal stroller push, so you're not like dragging it by a handle like a normal wagon. But it's amazing. It's just such a cool piece of equipment. We certainly didn't need it this early, but there was a really great deal with Bye Bye Baby. So we combined a 20% off coupon, and then Bye Bye Baby bucks. I guess if you spend over $400, you get $100 in Bye Bye Baby bucks, so that we can use that to buy some other things down the road. But yeah, it was over $400. I think its original price is $550. It is insanely expensive. Probably the most expensive thing we've bought. But, well, my mom wonderfully bought it for us. But, it's one of those things that every single triplet Facebook group I'm a part of, every mom that I've been introduced to has really talked about this wagon being awesome. And we were originally going to buy it off of a friend that has triplets that, really close friends with. But because we could get it new for pretty much the same price as a used one, we just kind of went ahead and got it new, and it was in the right color and everything. So getting baby stuff pulled together has been fun. I washed all of Garrett's old little newborn clothes and got those all kind of pulled together just to see what we have. Obviously, we need girl stuff. I'm gonna wait, um, see what family and friends decide if they'd like to get us some things, if that comes through. But if not, Target, Old Navy are really my go-tos from when Garrett was little, just to get those packs of zipper onesies. Learned that lesson last time, to not get anything with buttons. But really, it's just stocking up on baby stuff, and just growing these babies. I think that's the really cool point we're at is, I'm not scared as much anymore. I'm, pretty, solidly thinking these three babies are going to come home. And, at this point, that's the reality. I think leading up to it, maybe from like 8 weeks to maybe 20, I was really concerned that we could potentially lose one, because that's pretty high likelihood when you have this many babies. So just to feel that calmness of knowing that this is kind of going to happen. We've hired our nanny. I think we've talked about that. Shared that before. Excuse me, the hiccups. Talked about that before. Starting to get my maternity plans together for work, which just seems crazy because I mean, they could come anytime. We're hoping June, mid to late June, but they really are gonna. I'm gonna start prepping for mid-May to have plans in place, and then any weeks that I actually, get to work extra will be wonderful. Also planning a little baby moon. It's kind of silly, but our anniversary, our 6-year wedding anniversary, is coming up in the middle of April, and we have this really cool place we went to 2 years ago, called the Tides Inn. That's right on the river, so it's not far from here, maybe an hour and a half. So that if anything happens, we're not too far from home. I'll be 27 weeks when we go, and thankfully we'll have family watch Garrett. But we're gonna go for 2 nights and just get away. First time in over a year that we've done anything. And the reason we can do it is because we're both getting our second vaccine shots to next week. So just feeling normal, being, still cautious. We're going to obviously wear masks still everywhere we go and be very, very careful, but just to feel a little bit normal. I've booked a hair appointment. I mean, this is just not how I normally look. It's usually about 4 or 5 inches shorter and a little blonder. So I have a hair appointment. I've booked a massage, and I'll probably, get into the dentist, all the things that you should do every year. Um, I'm just excited to feel a tiny bit of normalcy and just have that hope that we're going to be okay. All of our parents have gotten fully vaccinated, just waiting that 2 weeks. My mom just got her second one yesterday, and then my parent in-laws got theirs, I think, the week before. So soon we're just all going to be in a better place. Super, obviously not completely out of the woods, but um, safer. And having Garrett had already had COVID, he's got, hopefully the antibodies, and we're just going to be in a safer position, and we can have more people come visit. As more people are vaccinated, when these babies get here. I know this video is going a little bit long, but yeah, I think that's the other part I'm starting to think about is the support we're going to really need for maternity leave. For me, my husband's going to go back to work middle of July, so I will be home with these babies mostly by myself. Hopefully for 4 months is my plan to take off. So, just piecing together family and friends to come by and help, potentially hiring just a mother's helper. We did have somebody we were going to consistently use, but I wanted to make sure she could have the hours she really needed, and we just don't quite know what we're going to need yet. So really it's that's the next part that's going through my brain of how are we going to manage, June, July, August, September, what is it going to look like? I think our nanny will start in September, so at least we've got some overlap where I won't be working, and then transitioning back, so it won't be too bad. I've ordered my breast pump. That's coming. I decided on the Baby Buddha, which is a portable breast pump. I'm really excited about that. I will probably show you that in a video just because um, 5 years ago, they didn't have as much in ease of breast pumps, and this one has a tiny little pump part, like that you literally hang around your neck, and then the two pumping pieces. And then I follow someone over on Instagram, Be My Breast Friend, and she shared that they make legacy or legendary milk makes collection cups that work with the same system. So you just kind of tuck them in your bra and you can pump a little bit more discreetly, but also just more freely. So I'm definitely going to get that set up. And then I have my Ameda that's 5 years old that probably isn't going to be great, but at least I have a backup pump from that. So that's a lot. I know 2 week updates, maybe we thought I wouldn't have as much to share, but there's a lot going on. This afternoon, I'm going to go for an ultrasound. My mom's going to come along with me because Grant's going to have to work. And then hopefully I can take my mother-in-law on the next one. And it's just neat to be able to always have somebody come with me. And I might as well rotate people through that get to see the babies on the big screen. So checking in on them today. There's nothing major. I have an appointment with my MFM doctor just to see how things are going. I may ask for a temporary handicap placard, just because it's starting to get hard to walk pretty far. Not that I go anywhere, but it might be nice even just for hospital visits for these ultrasounds. But yeah, next week, 25 weeks, not a whole lot going on. The next big appointment I have, I believe, is at 28 weeks, and I'll be doing my glucose test. So that'll be end of April. And I didn't have gestational diabetes with Garrett, so I'm really hopeful that this time will be, pretty easy too. But yeah, just gonna keep these babies growing, keep working, doing what I can, relaxing when I can, and really staying in touch with the community. The Instagram community and the Facebook groups I'm a part of are just so helpful right now, to have other women that are going through it and to see the older babies and how they're managing. So anyway, I hope everybody's having a good day and you're enjoying these videos. I haven't really plugged it, but if you want to leave some comments, I know we have a handful of people that are watching these. But if you have questions or things that you want me to talk through, I'm just sharing the information that I usually find valuable from other people. I'm also keeping this on a regular blog too. It's Garber Party of Three. We started it when I was pregnant with Garrett. And then I also have my Instagram page where I update way more frequently. But just wanted to make sure I had a couple different places for people to get information. So anyway, I'll cut it off now. It was good to keep everybody updated, and I'll talk with you soon.